There are certain women who enter a space and the entire energy rearranges itself. It's not that they're demanding attention, it's that they've unlocked something most of us are still reaching for. Linda Wright is exactly that kind of woman. She's 77, she owns a boutique in Paris called Crimson Cashmere, and the way she presents herself goes far beyond getting dressed. It's genuinely a creative act. She has no interest in chasing what's current. She has zero desire to appear younger than she is. She constructs her looks the way an architect designs a building, with purpose, with discipline, and with this remarkable instinct for what deserves to stay and what needs to go. And today, I'm walking you through 5 concrete lessons from the way she dresses. And there's one toward the end that fundamentally reshaped how I approach my own wardrobe every morning. Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're just finding this channel, I'm Parker Holloway, and today we're diving into one of the most captivating style figures I know, Linda Wright, and unpacking precisely why her approach to getting dressed feels so much like art. So let's jump right in. Number 1. She anchors everything around a signature formula. This is something Linda has mastered, and I think it's one of the smartest moves in her approach. It's the reason she consistently looks polished without appearing like she agonized over it. She works from a reliable base, and in her case, that typically means an impeccably tailored pair of trousers or a clean-lined skirt matched with a top that sits in perfect proportion. And proportion is the secret ingredient here, because that's what holds it all together. Most of us stand in front of our closets each morning essentially solving a puzzle from zero. We're staring at a wall of choices, trying to piece something together, and it's mentally draining. Linda has already solved that puzzle. She's identified the silhouettes that complement her frame, and she gravitates toward them consistently, not because she lacks imagination, but because she's sharpened her instincts to the point where she knows precisely what enhances her. I'm drawn to this philosophy because it lifts such a burden. You're not reinventing your identity every morning. You're simply stepping out as the most refined version of yourself. And if getting dressed feels like a daily source of stress, this is the place to begin. Settle on 2 or 3 go-to outfit structures that make you feel confident, and let those become your starting point. And what's fascinating is how Linda elevates this foundation with accessories, which we'll explore later. That's where the real magic reveals itself. Number 2, she wields color with the confidence of a storyteller. This becomes obvious the moment you study how Linda assembles her outfits. She's not reaching for whatever shade is trending or defaulting to what feels harmless. She handles color the way a composer uses notes, with care, with restraint, and always in service of something larger. You'll frequently spot her in a saturated navy, or a deep wine, or a golden camel, and then she'll introduce one surprising flash of color, perhaps a scarf, perhaps a shoe, perhaps a bold lip, but there's nothing accidental about it. Every shade is present because it has a job to do. And this is where I think so many of us have room to grow. Most women fall into one of 2 camps, either clinging to all black because it feels safest, or going too far the other direction, layering colors without a unifying vision. What Linda achieves is that beautiful sweet spot where color communicates something without overwhelming the conversation. So if you instinctively reach for neutrals every time, and honestly, neutrals are wonderful, I wear them constantly, experiment with one intentional burst of color in your next look: a deep red handbag, a sapphire blue scarf, a pair of rich green earrings. Just one, and notice how it transforms the mood of your outfit. You might be amazed at how much assurance one well-chosen color can bring. Number 3, she respects the quiet authority of texture and fabric. This is something I feel gets dismissed far too easily, and it's one of the clearest dividers between an outfit that reads as decent and one that reads as exceptional. Linda is remarkably deliberate about her fabric choices. She's drawn to materials with substance and fluidity and a certain quiet luxury: gorgeous cashmere, plush wool, silk that falls beautifully, well-made cotton that maintains its form. And And here's what matters. These fabrics don't need a designer price tag. What counts far more is that they look thoughtful. You can sense the gap between a blazer that holds its shape and one that simply collapses on you, right? Linda obviously grasps this, and she mixes textures with real sophistication. A flat, matte surface beside something with a gentle luster, a sleek knit against something with more tactile interest. It builds dimension. It makes an understated outfit feel layered and compelling without any extra components. Most women pay attention to cut and color, but overlook that the material itself is carrying half the weight. I realize upgrading fabrics can seem daunting, but there's no need to overhaul everything at once. Begin with the pieces in heaviest rotation, your staple trousers, your most worn sweater, your reliable jacket. When you swap even one item for a superior fabric, trust me, the shift is instant. And this connects directly to what comes next, because the way Linda approaches accessories, that's where these building blocks converge into something genuinely special. Now, the first 3 lessons I've walked you through, most women could arrive at those given enough patience and experimentation. But lessons 4 and 5 occupy a different category. These are the ones that draw the line between dressing well and dressing in a way that truly feels like art. And lesson 5 specifically, that's the one that genuinely rearranged something in my thinking.
Number 4, she selects accessories with the exactness of an art director. This is where Linda Wright takes everything to an entirely different plane. She doesn't load herself down with accessories. She doesn't subscribe to the old advice of put everything on, then remove one thing. Her process is far more deliberate than that. Every piece she adds, whether it's a scarf arranged with effortless precision, a statement cuff, a delicate pendant, or an impeccably structured handbag, feels as though it was selected exclusively for that outfit on that occasion. Nothing feels like it landed there by default. And I believe that's the most important concept here, deliberateness. Most of us approach accessories as an afterthought. We finish getting dressed and reach for whatever's closest on the nightstand or whichever earrings we had on yesterday. Linda approaches accessories as the signature on the outfit. They're what give the whole composition its personality, and that represents a completely different mindset. I find this deeply motivating because it means you don't need more accessories. You need to be more thoughtful about the ones you reach for. A single remarkable piece worn with conviction will always outperform 5 unremarkable ones. So next time you're heading out, try this. Get dressed and then pause in front of the mirror and ask yourself, what is this outfit trying to communicate? Then select the one piece that delivers that message. That one adjustment in thinking has the power to transform everything. Number 5, and this is the one I've been building toward. She dresses as an act of self-expression, not self-correction. This is the lesson that made me pause and reconsider when I sat with it. Because so many of us, and I'm absolutely including myself, have spent years approaching our closets with the mission of disguising something. Disguising our arms, disguising our midsections, disguising the evidence that our bodies have evolved. We get dressed to fix, to cover, to downplay, and it's draining, and there's no pleasure in it. Linda refuses to operate that way. When you observe how she dresses at 77, there's not a trace of apology anywhere. There's no effort to recreate how she looked at 40. There's no pulling back. What you see instead, and this is what gives it that quality of art, is a woman who has clearly decided that getting dressed each morning is a chance to declare who she is right now. Not who she used to be, not who society thinks she should be, but who she genuinely is today. And that depth of conviction, that choice to present yourself fully and unapologetically at every age, transcends fashion entirely. It touches something profoundly deeper. It's a declaration that you are worthy of being seen, not for a number on a birthday card, not for a dress size, not for how successfully you've preserved some earlier edition of yourself, but for the woman standing in that mirror right now. I think about this often because I'm convinced so many women hit a certain stage and begin feeling as though they should shrink, visually, emotionally, in every way. And Linda Wright stands as living evidence that the reverse is true. The most powerful thing you can do is occupy precisely the amount of space your complete self needs. And how you dress can be the very first place you practice that, every single morning. That woman who steps into a room and you feel everything recalibrate, not because of what's on her body, but because of the conviction behind it. She's not wearing more than you. She simply understands what to edit away and what to let speak through what's left. So here's my question. What will your outfit say about you when you step out tomorrow? And on the subject of women who've transformed personal style into something truly remarkable, next week I'm introducing you to someone who arrived at the same place through an entirely different route, and her philosophy might catch you off guard. All right, everyone, that wraps up my 5 style lessons from the extraordinary Linda Wright. I hope this video gave you something useful and maybe even stirred something deeper. If it did, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe so you're here for everything coming next. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Of these 5 lessons, which one landed the hardest for you? Was it the signature formula, the approach to color, the fabric philosophy, the intentional accessories, or that last one about dressing as self-expression rather than self-correction? Drop your answer below because I genuinely read every single response. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, and as always, thank you so much for being here, and I'll catch you all in the next one.